Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good day, my dear students. I hope that you are doing good and taking good care of yourself. I am Ms.Sehrish Afzal from Multan Public School and College for Boys and Girls. I am your geography teacher. Here is a title page of your book, The Environment of Pakistan by Huma Naz Sethi, and the subject code is 2059. My dear students, Alhamdulillah, we have completed such a long chapter number 1, the topography of Pakistan, successfully. Now we are going to start chapter number 2, the climate of Pakistan, from your course book. In this lecture, we will only cover two topics from the chapter number 2, and the topics are highland and lowland climatic zones of Pakistan. Dear students, let's talk about the difference between weather and climate. Weather refers to the atmospheric conditions, temperature, rainfall, humidity, and pressure of any place for a short period of time. It is often localized. For instance, if we say that weather of Multan is sunny today, or let's say the weather of Islamabad is rainy nowadays, and so on. Whereas climate is generalization of the day-to-day weather conditions over a long period of time, usually 30 years. For instance, if we say that climate of Karachi is moderate, or let's say we say that climate of northern area is cold and climate of Punjab is usually hot. Dear students, let's talk about the climatic zones of Pakistan. Pakistan's topographical features range from lofty mountains in the north to the coastal plains in the south. The diversity of terrain leads to a variety of climates. Climatic zones of Pakistan are highland climate, lowland climate, coastal climate, and arid climate. But in this lecture, we will only study about two climatic zones of Pakistan, highland and lowland climatic zones of Pakistan. Dear students, open page number 27 from your course book and look at this map carefully. This is figure 2.1. This shows climatic zone of Pakistan. Zone A indicates highland climate prevailing over northern and northwestern and western mountains, whereas Zone B has lowland climate, which prevails over the whole of the Indus Plain. We will discuss the rest of the two zones in our next lecture. A division of climatic zone does not imply exactly the same condition throughout the zone. There are great variation in rainfall, temperature, humidity, etc. in the same climatic zone. It means that in same climatic zone, it's not necessary the weather is same throughout the year or throughout the zone. For example, Northern Highlands and Western Highlands fall in the same climatic zone, but the amount and seasonal distribution of rainfall is different. Murray and Hazara Hills experiences more than 1500 mm average annual rainfall mostly during the summer season, whereas in the Western Highlands like Quetta and Pishin receives 250 to 500 mm average annual rainfall and winter is wettest season over there. Look at the map once again. Zone A, which is also called Highland Climatic Zone. Highland Climatic Zone is divided into two portions. The upper portion is called northern areas and the lower portion is northwestern and western mountains. In upper portion of zone A, winters are cold and summers are mild, whereas there is rainfall in all season. If we talk about the lower portion in climatic zone A, where cool winters gradually turned into cold winters, and mild summers gradually turned into warm summers, and there is a rainfall only in winters. Here you can clearly see that climate is different in a same climatic zone. Now let's talk about the climatic zone B, which is also called lowland climate. This is also called semi-arid to arid climatic zone as well. Arid means having little or no rainfall. It is too dry area or barren to support vegetation. Through this map, you can clearly observe that there are two different climates in a same climatic zone. For example, in the upper portion of climatic zone B, there are cool winters and hot summers, and there is a less or sometimes more monsoon rainfall. If you comes down in this area, aridity increase means there is less rainfall and less chances of vegetation. Dear students, let's discuss about the Highland climatic zone of Pakistan. This region includes the north and northwestern mountains of Pakistan. Dear students, let's talk about the regions which are included in Highland climatic zone of Pakistan. This region includes northern, northwestern and western highlands. For instance, Murree, Chitral, Balakot, Naran, Kagan, Quetta and Waziristan. Let's talk about the climate of highland areas. The winters are long, cold and snowy, and the summers remains short and mild. In mountainous areas, rainfall is normally associated with the altitudes. Rainfall in the northern mountains is the highest in the highland zone. The western mountain experiences less rainfall. From south of Kohat and Waziristan, rainfall decreases and occurs during the winter season. To the northwest, Gilgit and Chitral also experiences less rainfall as they are rain shadows area. The temperature conditions also vary from north to west depending on the altitude. Summers are short, mild, and wet in the northern mountains, but dry and warm in the western mountains. Let's discuss about the height of mountains in highland climatic zone of Pakistan. The height of the northern mountains range from 2000 meters to above 8000 meters, while in the western mountains the height is approximately from 1000 to over 4000 meters. Dear students, now let's talk about the lowland climate or semi-arid to arid climatic zone of Pakistan. Let's talk about the regions included in this climatic zone. This region includes the whole of the Indus Plain except the coastal areas. Most part of the Indus Plain lie at the western end of the tropical monsoon zone. It has arid and extreme climate with hot summers, cool winters, and summer monsoon rainfall. The amount of rainfall differs from north to south. The foothills of northern mountains and Potwar Plateau are wetter than the Indus Plain and also receive rainfall from western depressions. Thunderstorms are also common in the north and northwest of the Indus Plain. The southern upper Indus Plain and the whole of the lower Indus Plain have much less rainfall and spells of very high temperature. If you remember that we have read in our previous chapter, Indus Plain is divided into Upper Indus Plain and Lower Indus Plain. The areas of Punjab like Multan, Bahawalpur, Rahim Yar Khan, Then if we enters in Sindh, Sakhar, Larkana, not Sibbi, Rohri, Hyderabad, and Karachi. These all areas are included in lowland climatic zone of Pakistan. Dear students, have a look on page number 30 of your course book and let's revise the summary of highland and lowland climatic zones of Pakistan. Dear students, let's talk about the effects of climate on the life and economic activities of people living in highland zones. Severely cold winters and mild to warm summers characterize the climate in northern and northwestern areas of the highland zones. In the northern areas, the temperature falls below freezing point. The growth of tree is retarded. The grass is buried under snow, and at some places, rivers and torrents also freeze. During winter, farming is not possible. People are involved in indoor activities, for instance, carpet weaving, embroidery work, and pottery making, etc. Transhumance is also practiced. For instance, moving the flocks up to the cooler highland in summer and returning to the plain areas in the cold winter. The barren hills of the northwest frontier are sparsely populated. Most of the Pathan tribes still live as nomadic herdsmen, keeping goats and sheep. Due to extremely low temperatures during winter, they have to move to lowland areas with their animals. The Vale of Peshawar is the greenest part of this region with extensive woodlands, orchards, and irrigated fields. In the extreme north, many areas are not accessible due to landslides and heavy snowfall hampering transport links. Job opportunities are also limited in this region, and economic activities are difficult to carry out. As you move towards the south, temperature increases in both summer and winter. The western highlands and barren mountains of Balochistan are also sparsely populated due to harsh physical conditions. Annual rainfall is 125 to 250 mm in most of the areas and occurs mainly during winter. Lack of water supply discourages human settlements. Crop cultivation is also difficult in these areas. However, apples, mangoes, apricots, and grapes are grown in the valleys of high altitude areas. Dear students, let's discuss the effects of climate on life and economic activities of people living in lowland zones of Pakistan. The fertile plain of Punjab, drained by the river Indus and its four tributaries, has a continental or extreme type of climate, means it's too hot in these areas. It is because of the northerly position of Punjab plain. In the daytime, summers are extremely hot, winters are cool to mild. Economically, the Punjab plain is the most productive agricultural region of Pakistan. In view of the generally varied and irregular rainfall, there is a well developed canal irrigation system to raise crops like wheat, millet, cotton, and sugarcane. Punjab is the most densely populated province of Pakistan because of its alluvial plains, moderate rainfall, and tolerable summers and winters temperatures. There is a proper network of roads which connects the small areas and villages to the big cities and highways and motorways. People are associated with different industries in this area. Students, it's all from my side regarding these two topics. Now it's your turn. You have to read out page number 27, 28, 37 and 38, but only the relevant topics. See and practice figure 2.1 and 2.8. Make 10 short question answer from the topic and write on your notebook or register. With reference to temperature and rainfall, identify and explain the difference in highland and lowland climatic zones of Pakistan. How does the climate vary from place to place in same climatic zone? As we have discussed, explain the factors that affects climate and do question number 3 from your book exercise. Till then, Allah Hafiz, stay home, stay safe and stay blessed.